here's the building as it appeared around that time. And, you know, when this photograph was taken, it was considered one of the world's most photographed structures, one of the most famous warehouses in the world. But I wanted to show you some pictures. These are actually crime scene photographs taken by the FBI and some by the Dallas Police Department. But let's take a look at the ground floor. Now, first of all, Karen, where would you park your car in 1963?
We parked it behind, over in the railroad tracks. There was railroad tracks and just gravel lots back there. So we parked it behind the building. This is the front entrance, you know, which is the one that we came in rather than, is that entrance still available even? I'm not sure.
Yes.
Okay.
This is, as you're coming down corner of Houston and Elm Street, there's a little extension, one lane of Elm, and this is the main entrance to the School Book Depository. It's today the main entrance to what is now called the Dallas County Administration Building.
That's right.
But it looks a little different. We have what looks like a radiator there on the right-hand side. And then on the left is something you really don't see much of anymore. That's a cigarette machine, which was, I'm sure, very popular in the early 1960s. So you would walk in the building. This was how all the employees came in. You wouldn't go through the loading dock on the back side?
We didn't. We didn't. We came through the front.
Okay. And then we're going to turn now to our right. And so this is the other side. You can see in the bottom right-hand corner, the other side of that cigarette machine. And then what are we looking at here, this staircase?
The stairway, this was what we would take to go up to the second floor, which was where I worked at Southwestern. Okay. I believe there was an elevator there, but I think I usually took the stairs. Was there an elevator?
Yeah, I think, are we talking about that doorway that's right there?
Yes.
There's an elevator in there?
Right.
Okay. And here is Southwestern Publishing. This is your office on the second floor.
This is my office. I remember it well.
Tell us what we're looking at here and any equipment that you see that maybe we wouldn't recognize today.
Well, first of all, you see a whole big stack of file cabinets there. Instead of computer files that we have these days, we didn't have computers then, and so that was where we kept all of the paper files.
Now, the desk that you had is in the far southeast corner. So in this picture, we're talking about the corner if it's on the right-hand side of this image. And southeast corner is important because you were on the second floor, southeast corner, and the sniper's nest, that evidentiary area you saw downstairs, was the same spot directly above on the sixth floor.
Right.
Now, back there at the back, what looks like a window, is that where your supervisor or boss worked?
No, she worked up in this area, I believe.
This is the outside of the building. This is a picture taken on November 22nd. You can see there's some detectives and police officers outside. But I want to draw your attention to a sign, not the big Texas School Book Depository sign, which we actually have in our collection today, that original sign. But there's another sign that's on the corner of the building. And I'll show you another picture. This is a same day, a little bit earlier, but this is a color photograph taken by a bystander. But again, on the right-hand side of the picture, you can see that sign. And we have that sign today in our collection, and here it is. It listed all the publishing companies that actually had offices inside the School Book Depository. It's an artifact that you don't see very often. And at the very bottom, Karen, that's your company, Southwestern Publishing, which was one of the smaller ones. Is that right?
It was. Yes, it was. Macmillan and Scott Forsman were much larger than we were.
You saw Oswald in the lunchroom, often on the second floor. Let's take a look at that. So we're on the second floor, again, same floor that your publishing company is officing on, and this door that we're looking at right here, tell us about that.
Well, that was the door to the lunchroom, but it was always open. We never had to open that door. It's interesting to me that you have a picture of it closed because I've never seen it closed. The door stayed open and we would go in there for our lunches.
Okay, and so now walking through that door, now we're on the other side. You can see that door through the open door there. And so this is the lunchroom.
Right.
Okay, and there's a candy machine there right inside the entrance, and there's a mirrored surface on that candy machine. If you look really closely, you can actually see a Coke machine reflected in the glass of that candy machine, and that's an important Coke machine because that's where Lee Harvey Oswald was seen, right, standing at that Coke machine right after the assassination within about 90 seconds of the last shot being fired.
But I wanted to show you that bank of chairs there that's showing on the left side of that picture. That's where Lee always sat to have lunch, and Lee always sat by himself. I know that he had a good friend. Okay, there it's on the right. The ladies in our group, we always sat in the very back end there that's sitting across. We always sat there for lunch, and Lee always sat here on the right. So they took us to the sixth floor. He took us to the 6th floor and showed us that window, which was directly above my desk.
You had never been to the 6th floor at all in
No.
the whole time you'd worked at the building?
No, we weren't allowed up there. The office workers weren't allowed up there. So this was the first time, and the FBI agent took us up there and showed us where Lee had arranged the boxes and everything around the window.
Let's take a look at that. There's a color photograph of the sniper's nest. So this FBI agent just took you and a couple of the girls?
Yeah, a couple of young girls.
Was he flirting with you? All right. Well, this has been great. Please join me in thanking Karen Scranton for being our guest today.